Antonio African American Community Archive and Museum, and a very great partner. She serves on our museum planning committee at the Alamo. Mr. Jack Gunther, who is the founder and the visionary behind what was imagined to be the Briscoe Sculpture Trail, which we will eventually get to, Mr. Gunther, I promise. And then Mr. Jerry Cheatham, Vice President of the Bexar County Buffalo Soldier Association. And then last but certainly not least, our very special guest, artist and master sculptor, Mr. Eddie Dixon. So it's fitting that we're having this unveiling. Yes, thank you. It's fitting that we're having this ceremony and unveiling today, as this Sunday kicks off National Art and Education Week. The latest addition to the Alamo Briscoe Sculpture Trail is part of our effort to tell the story of the Shrine of Texas Liberty, the complete story through the full arc of 300-year history. The site's collection of statues throughout the grounds will continue to grow as the implementation of the Alamo Plan continues to progress, providing several unique windows into our community's past. Today's statue unveiling is certainly no exception. We're happy to announce the addition of the statue of Texas-sized legend Emily West Morgan, who some refer to as the Yellow Rose of Texas, to the grounds of the Alamo and right next to the Emily Morgan Hotel, right where she belongs. West, interestingly, was a free woman of color of mixed race and was born in New Haven, Connecticut. In October of 1835, she signed a contract with James Morgan in New York City to work as a housekeeper at the New Washington Association's Hotel, Morgan's Point, Texas. 2 months later, in December of 1835, she arrived in Texas with Colonel and Mrs. James Morgan. On April 16, 1836, a little more than 1 month before the famous Battle of the Alamo, James Morgan was absent in Galveston in command of Fort Travis. Mexican cavalrymen under the command of Colonel Juan Almonte arrived at New Washington to seize Texas's interim president, David Burnett, who was embarking on a schooner for Galveston Island. As Texas's president and his family escaped, Mexican troops seized Emily and other black servants at Morgan's warehouse. General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna arrived at New Washington the following day. After a few days of looting the warehouses, he ordered the building set afire and departed to challenge Sam Houston's army, which was camped about 10 miles away on Buffalo Bayou. Emily was forced to accompany the Mexican army. Legend would later credit Emily with sending word of Santa Anna's whereabouts to Houston and then entertaining the Mexican general, distracting him enough that Houston's troops swept in at San Jacinto and defeated the Mexican army in 18 minutes. The infamous story was passed around many Texas campfires that Emily had helped defeat the Mexican army through a dalliance with Santa Anna. However, today's gathering is not only about what we read in history, but about the lenses in which we view it, like through the eyes of today's honored guest, Mr. Eddie Dixon. Mr. Dixon was a pilot for the U.S. military and served 2 tours in Vietnam. He is also a renowned sculptor, receiving many awards for his work, including the NAACP George Woods Award, The Arts, for outstanding services in art, and the National Military Artist of the Year, awarded by the National Association of Military Museums. In 1992, President George H.W. Bush declared July 25th National Buffalo Soldier Day in honor of Dixon's Buffalo Soldier Monument. October 16, 1993, Eddie Dixon Day was declared in Washington, D.C. and New York City on March 28, 1994 in Lubbock, Texas for outstanding accomplishments in art. His work is featured at several national sites, including the Pentagon, West Point, the U.S. Department of the Interior, the U.S. State Department, the Smithsonian, and national parks throughout the United States, as well as more than 50 countries abroad. However, we're proud to say that today, Mr. Dixon can add a new location to the listing of his incredible artwork, and that is right here at the Alamo. Please give a warm Texas welcome to the outstanding artist who sculpted Emily West Morgan, Mr. Eddie Dixon.
by community advocate George Frederick and National Humanities Award winner Everett Fly. The founding of SACAM was born out of an omission of Black history in San Antonio's tricentennial story. That was just a short 5 years and 1 month ago. How have times changed? Here we are on the grounds of Mission San Antonio de Valero, or the Alamo, actually honoring 2 free Black African descendants who were instrumental in the Texas Revolution and the Republic of Texas. What is also interesting about the story, especially Hendrick Arnold's story, is he fought for a republic that did not even declare him a citizen, and also a republic that declared if you were a free African descendant, you weren't welcome. But that's okay because these times have changed. I would like to thank the Alamo Trust, Executive Director Kate Rogers, the Turner Family Foundation, the Mays Family Foundation, and all of you, oh, and of course, our artists, Eddie Dixon and Ed Dwight, for Emily West and Hendrick Arnold. This is a day that history is recorded here at the Alamo, and we are here to witness it together. I will leave you with, our mission at SACAM is to collect, preserve, and share the African American cultural heritage of the San Antonio region. We do that by collecting stories, so I look forward to seeing you in the history books. Thank you.